What's up, everybody? It's your boy Savage. Welcome back to the Savage family. Thanks for tapping in. I do want to say much appreciation to everybody who stayed solid to the channel, man. Stayed rocking with your boy after I changed the name, changed the picture, blah, blah, blah. As a matter of fact, my subscribers are going back on up now. Everything's moving back on up, moving on up. Yeah, exactly. So to the haters, you know what I'm saying? You guys, you did your little piece, but it wasn't enough. So with that being said, let's get into another banger video that I'm going to drop today. If you like the video, be sure to smash that thumbs up. If you don't, smash that thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel now. Hit that bell notification so you'll be notified of future videos being dropped. Sometimes I talk way too fast. Let me take a swig of water. It's hot. So, this video is for the people who've rocked with my Selly Nightmares type of stories, the darker content that your boys seem to be producing from time to time. It intrigues me. It's always interested me since I've been a little kid, some of the crazy things that happens in this world and how people's mind possibly works and what they're thinking when they do the things they do. So without further much ado, let's go ahead and get into this. I don't even know if I said that right, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. A murder was committed in San Antonio, Texas. 3 co-defendants: Gabriel Moreno, Joker; Daniel Moreno Lopez, Güero; and I want to say Candy Dominguez with no AKA. She pled out to 30 years. She pled out to 30 years for testifying. She had to give up testimony on her man and I want to say his cousin, because they were first cousins, I believe it was. Gabriel Moreno, Joker, and Güero were first cousins. So Güero goes and has this drug deal going on, and mind you, I don't know about Güero, but I know that Joker is Mexican Mafia associated, according to paper, right? He signed a form which basically admitted to that, which is a little weird because that's not what people like that do. You ain't supposed to sign anything. But yeah, so on paper, but he's from San Antonio, Texas. Maybe things are different out there, how they do it. I'm not sure. But that's what they have him down on paper as. So the cousin, Güero, goes and does this drug deal, takes some makeup from Joker, some like Mary Kay makeup or whatever, does this deal, ends up getting stabbed in the back by a dude named Peewee. Last name Menchaca. Can't remember his first name, but Peewee's what we call him because that's what his nickname is. And we're going by nicknames now. I'm not doing the whole last names and front name, first names, middle names. No, we're going by nicknames. So try to stick with me here. So, after being stabbed, obviously he's going to want some type of form of retaliation. And if you're anything like how I used to be, or, you know, especially when I was in those dark days, man, and if you would have stabbed me in the back, retaliation is going to be brutal, man. It's going to be merciless. You know, there's not going to be any forgiveness that I can give you, afford you, want to give you, want anyone to give you. Not for you, not for anybody. Now things are different, man. Now I'm a little more slow, a little more humble to the approach. You know, people do things they don't necessarily understand, or they may make mistakes and get themselves in over their head. It's just about the kind of man you are and what you're willing to forgive or not forgive. So anyways, enough about all that. After the stabbing, they proceed to lure Peewee back to the house. Mind you, Güero, the man who was stabbed by Peewee, Güero's girl is cousins to Peewee. So she lures Peewee over to the house. Once he steps into the master bedroom, he is beaten with aluminum baseball bats by Joker and Güero. Beaten to a bloody pulp. He's trying to beg for his life. This is all according to testimony, according to witnesses. One witness who was there, and to the girlfriend who ended up flipping and testifying on everybody so she can plead out to 30 years and not do life. Because at the end of the day, she was partaking. She partook in the cooking of his remains, which when they searched the premise, they found arms and legs on the grill being cooked. She partook in that, and she also partook in the dismembering. So as Dennis, I can't remember his last name, I'll show his statement. As he testified, it was the bloodiest scene he ever saw in his life. The man was trying to beg for his life to the best of his ability. He was getting nowhere with it, and at one point was even told, "You better pray because I'm your God and I decide whether or not you live or die." Come on now, like, damn. It's one thing to be beaten with the baseball bat, but it's another thing to hear some sinister stuff like that coming out of somebody's mouth. That's like some, whew, that's a hell of a way to go, man. The last thing on your mind is like, damn, who do I pray to now? Knowing that now his begging and his pleading and his begging for mercy and all this is not going to work with his attackers and his aggressors. I wonder what he was thinking. You know what I mean? You ask yourself, like, what could have been going on in his mind at that point? You know, it's like, hey, I'm a dead man. I'm dead. Screw begging, screw trying to ask for forgiveness and trying to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. We just gonna fight it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna give it my all till it's curtains, baby. Till it all goes black on me. I'm gonna give it my all. So he ends up begging for his life. They tell him no. They beat him unconscious, and then they strangle him. They put a trash bag over his head, and they strangle him. Once unconscious, they begin to dismember him. Now, the Dennis, the other witness who I told you about, I can't remember his last name. He actually goes on. He goes on to say that when he came back, that in the blue tub, there was a blue tub. The body was still there, limbless, armless, legless, and the head was still wrapped in duct tape in a trash bag, but that it almost was like the head was barely connected. He described it as looking like a bobblehead. Maybe the tape was the only thing that was connected. Could have been to the spine or the neck or whatever bone you got that goes up the back, maybe. I'm not sure. It wasn't completely severed. He described the smell as the worst smell he's ever possibly smelled, worse than any decayed animal, worse than anything like that. That's what he described. So you look at the crime and all of its, and all the research I did, I could not figure out how they were arrested. I could not figure out how the cop figured it out. You know, was he tipped off? Who called? Maybe that dude Dennis probably tipped it off, or whatever it was. But so obviously he ended up turning state evidence. He ended up turning main witness, and broke down, basically looked sick to his stomach when they showed the images of Peewee's remains during the court proceedings. As for the girlfriend, right, who testified on both Joker and Weddle, she really showed no remorse. And I'll play a clip so you guys can see yourself. She showed absolutely zero remorse. She almost looked like she was speaking matter-of-factly. Like, yeah, like he was begging for his life, but they just kept beating him. And then we took him out, cut him up, and I helped cut him up. And then we buried him, or then we burned him on the grill. She almost looks like she's getting an attitude about the situation while she's on the stand talking about it. But she pled out, she got 30 years for that. Doesn't that seem to be the case every time a woman is involved in some foul stuff? Like, how the hell does she not get life? More leniency for the girls, I guess. The guy, the boyfriend, Daniel Moreno Lopez, Weddle, he was found guilty. Joker was not. He was acquitted. However, this is the funny thing. Although Joker was acquitted the first time, he was deadlocked. And it was deadlocked at 11-1 in favor of convicting him. That means one juror is all it took. That's the way it works in a jury trial. If one says not guilty, it's a mistrial, done. Hung jury, whatever you call it. It's just not, he's not being convicted, he's not being found guilty. It just takes one. That's all you got to do. That one got him another trial, because obviously it's going to be dismissed or whatever. The DA gets one more chance to, bam, I want to refile. So she went and refiled right away. This time he was just acquitted. This time he was simply acquitted. So you figure, man, the dude, his lawyer said that when he called him later that there was tears and blah, blah, blah. So you figure, man, the dude ain't going back. You know, he's probably grateful that he dodged this bullet. Because you mean to tell me your first cousin was stabbed by Peewee, yet when he's beaten to death and dismembered and all this in front of you, you didn't partake? You didn't get retaliation for Peewee? Well, he convinced one juror that didn't happen, and then he convinced the next jury. I don't know how much it was or whatever. that he didn't play a role, that he was just there. Bad timing, wrong place, wrong time. So they gave him a chance. They gave this Mexican mafia associate a chance, you know what I mean, to live a free and good and beautiful and bountiful life. But being the scumbag that he is, being the fuck up that he is, and the universe coming right back to his ass saying, you didn't get away from us. You may have beat the law, but you didn't beat us. You didn't beat the real reality of things. Karma, you didn't beat that. He ended up back in jail. Well, first they didn't even want to release his goofy ass because he ended up getting caught with a burner. He got in jail. And the burner, I mean, he got caught with a knife. Possession of a deadly weapon. So he was trapped up in jail. He gets caught with that. They don't even want to release him. So he ends up getting out at some point. After he ends up getting out, he ends up coming back. I'm not sure how long. He ends up coming back, though, for possession of a firearm, felon in possession of a firearm, theft of a firearm, assault with a deadly weapon. They're stretching him. They're going to stretch him now. He's going to do 10 years, 5 to 10 years at least. Who knows what his record looks like? Who knows what, if they even have strikes out there in San Antonio? Who knows how they do the court system? But it's like you Truvo, bro. You got a chance. You dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. But you so about that life, now look at you. Now you're going to grow old in jail, eventually become somebody's victim due to your age, maybe due to declining health. It's a repetitive cycle, and no one stays on top forever. No one stays on. Oh, and then I think I want to say he assaulted. It was a chick he assaulted with the firearm or something like that. I'm not sure, or stole, or something like that, man. Go look it up, man. You guys will see. And he got really, really fat too. So there's no happily ending for him. No happy ever after. There it goes. There's no happy ever after for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it leads me to just feel and believe in my soul that he was guilty all along, man. That he was guilty of the charges. He thought he dodged a bullet. But when it comes to taking somebody's life and things like that, you can never really get away with it. You know, things always come back tenfold. You know what I mean? And that's the situation here. You know, it came back. It feels like it's coming back tenfold for him. Daniel Lopez, the cousin, Güero, was the only one found guilty so far at a trial. And his mom lost it, man. His mom was in the audience, that she had to be consoled. And then EMT, the stretcher came and took her, you know, via ambulance, you know, because she couldn't handle it, you know. I don't understand what she was so upset about, you know. Your son killed somebody, dismembered somebody, grilled him, left the stump of his core sitting in a blue tub. You know, that's what the cops found, was that. You know, you didn't even get rid of the body, you know. I didn't even grill the body parts right. They were just looking at charred arms and charred legs. So, forgive me, Ma, but, you know, you threw a big old fit in court about him being convicted and found guilty, but really? You know? As for the woman, the girlfriend, she deserved way more than 30 years. She sounded so evil, so malicious. She set her own cousin up. Set her own cousin up to be beaten and killed. She was actually, according to Dennis, the other witness, she was scrubbing the walls, profusely trying to get the blood off the walls when it was all happening. Because according to Dennis, there was blood everywhere, coming out of his cheeks, coming out of his face, head, ass, knees, elbows, everything. Bloodiest scene he's ever seen. Looked like it was out of a horror movie, is what he said. Come on now. So I don't know when this dude Joker's gonna get out. That's the main one in the thumbnail and the picture that's actually all tatted up. You know, like Güero has tattoos, but he's the light. Obviously, Güero, he's the light skinned one. Joker's the darker skinned one, but with all the crazy tattoos on his face. I don't know when he'll be out again. I don't know if he'll ever get out. I don't think he deserves to get out. I don't think he deserved to get out the first time, but he was given a chance, because who am I to judge? Who am I to say, no, you can't go out? But the truth of the matter is, this guy could be getting released sometime. Who knows how much of those charges will actually stick. And if this guy's in your neighborhood, if you see him, you know anyone who knows him, you know, approach with caution. Avoid characters like this, because it goes to show you there's two lessons that could be learned here. One, you never know who the hell you messing with. That's what Güero told Peewee as he was begging. He says, you fucked with the wrong person. Today I'm your God. I will decide whether you live or die. That's lesson number 1. You never know who you fucking with. Lesson number 2. This is probably the most valuable lesson right here. Before you go and think it's a good idea to stab somebody in the back, before you think it's a good idea to go and, let's say, burn somebody, stab someone in the back, betray somebody, try to come up on somebody, anything of the sort, before you think it's okay to do something like that, think about, what if this person that you're going to do this to has the mentality or the capacity to do what they did to Peewee? Some people don't play eye for an eye. Some people will play life for an eye, torture for an eye, family for an eye. So don't be expecting people to play fair or meet you halfway. It doesn't work that way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll include the link because, you know me, I'm not always able to cover everything. You know, I forget stuff, but click on it, check it out, read it up, man. It's a crazy article. I'll leave it in the description. I appreciate all you guys for watching. Smash that thumbs up, please. And drop a comment. Let me know what you think, man. Let me know if you think he was actually guilty or not guilty after watching or reading the article. Until then, much respect. I will be dropping a family video or maybe a vlog tomorrow. So stay tuned, stay tapped in. It's always much love and much respect over here. Deuces.